Today on the Tiger Football Report, we'll preview the Towson game on the road against Villanova as the Tigers open up their CAA season. The Tiger Football Report begins now.
And here we have 1893 from the makers of Pepsi Cola. I'm gonna swirl it. I'm gonna smell it. I'm just gonna take one small sip.
Kinda seemed like more than a sip.
Yeah, let me show you. Refined.
1893, made with cola nut extract and real sugar. Boldly blended colas.
For an athlete, there's nothing scarier than a torn ACL.
Athletes trust us with their care and their careers because we're a recognized leader in sports medicine.
Get back to your active life sooner with MedStar Sports Medicine.
White Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now, together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl and chocolate-covered pretzel. How could you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. If you come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packets of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years for Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Hello and welcome to the Tiger Football Report. I'm your host, Spiro Morekas. The Tigers will hit the road this Saturday to take on the Wildcats of Villanova. Last year, the Tigers defeated Villanova by a score of 28-21. Joining us now, the head coach of the Tigers, Rob Ambrose. And Coach, obviously you've gotten 2 games under your belt, but now you get into CAA football and you go up to Villanova to face a team that's coming off a victory against Lehigh. Both teams 1-1, both lost their first games, both won their second games. Both teams really want to be 1-0 in conference play.
We sure do, and you want to add to the fact that this is Andy Talley's swan song season, that there's a lot on the line for them. And over the past couple of years, these games have been, if anything, interesting. And some high-scoring affairs, some low-scoring affairs, but usually always fun to watch, fun to play, fun to coach in.
Speaking of Coach Talley, last week he became just the 10th active coach at any level to get his 250th career victory. He's got 222 of them at Villanova. So maybe for you guys it's good that he got that win last week, because now the players don't say, man, another week where Coach has to get that 250. He got the 250. Maybe they'll relax a little.
Spiro, that's spoken like a sportscaster, and I really appreciate that sentiment. But as an ex-player, we don't care. It doesn't matter. They're not like these guys want to win ball games because they work really hard all year round. They sacrifice their time, their body, and they need a payday. They need some kind of payment for what they've invested in themselves. So it's nice when the boss man gets some kind of accolades for the number of wins, but nah, they just want to win, man. They just want to beat the guy across from them and do it for 60 minutes.
Now, for a team, you go into preseason camp and everybody's pumped up to play that first game. Mm-hmm. Then you get a couple games under your belt. Do you expect practice this week to be a little more jazzed up because it is the first conference game of the year? A little bit, but that would diminish what they've done previously. Like, I thought we'd have a very, very good week of practice last week. I thought, and it was hot. And where that helped us was in that game. That you saw their guys going down left and right with cramps here and there, and you didn't see our guys doing that. And we struggled through, we fought through, we won through those practices. So that's good. With the temperatures being down a little bit and Villanova being a little bit of a, I want to say, exotic offense and defense with some of the stuff that they do, it'll be a thinking man's practice this week, but they're ready to go. And you said it's a misnomer because we haven't played 2 football games yet. You watched us play. That wasn't 2 football games. We've played like 3 quarters of really good football, and the rest of us,
And our guys know that if we're going to conference play, 60 minutes, it's 4 quarters at least, and we have to play our best football until they tell us we can't play anymore.
For the record, you have played 2 games.
And we participated in 2 games.
Okay.
Big difference.
We'll leave it at that. You look at Villanova this year, different quarterback than they've had in the past. What do you see when you look at their offense this season?
A lot of similarities. Zach's not John, but no one is.
Right.
John's one of the greatest to ever play the game. And Zach's young. He's getting better every game he plays. Pass game is, the concepts, he seems a little slower with them than maybe John did at his age, but he's still shifty with the ball. He's still really elusive. He runs the ball, and he runs their offense very, very well. He's a good leader. He's a good quarterback, and they got weapons all the way around as usual. There's nothing new. It's just Villanova. They change the numbers, but the concepts stay the same. They're just good.
Running back Dixon had a great game the other day against Lehigh. A game much like yours where they were trailing for much of the football game and came back to win at the end.
Good team, and good teams can do that. And you talk about how bad it is for those situations to be happening. That we didn't play defense for the first half, basically. We really didn't. That offensively, once again, we handed 14 points to the opponent. And you can't do that versus good teams. But to see how kids respond and come back from that deficit, come back from adversity, it's great for the football fan. It's great for all that. But it's also great for them. You know that in your life, bad stuff's going to happen. It's stuff that you just can't control. But if you stay the course, you work hard, you stay true to your core values, you're going to be successful in the back end. And it speaks well to the chemistry of the team and who they can be down the road with their ability to do that. You can't manufacture comebacks. You can't manufacture the attitude that goes along with that. And Villanova has the same thing. They're well coached. It's a good football team, and it'll be a great game come Saturday.
Let's go back to your first year as head coach here, back in 2009. And I'll never forget you telling me after the game when we played at Villanova, you said to yourself, you're looking at the players as they're warming up, and you're looking at your football team, and you're looking at their football team, and you're like, okay, this is like men against boys. Mm-hmm. When you walk out this week for pregame warm-ups, I have a feeling you're going to say to yourself, this is men against men. Things have certainly changed.
Oh, it certainly has. And Andy Talley would be the first one to tell you. Andy Talley, I honest to God, I revere the man. That he's been around the game so long, he's forgotten more than I'll ever know.
And what many people don't remember, because he's been there so long, there was no program when he got there. They had dropped football, and he started it from scratch when they came back in 1985, I believe.
And I had a chance to actually meet a bunch of guys that were on those teams when he rebuilt the program. And the respect that they have for him, it's almost unfathomable. And he's the guy who told me after the first time we played, he said, don't you worry about a thing. He said, the way your guys play now, I'm not worried. You're going to be really good. To be honest, everybody needs to be worried. Towson's not going to be the doormat. No way. And he was right. A couple of years later, we were pretty good.
What was the difference between Towson in 2009 and Towson in 2016 as a football unit?
I'd say there's a million differences, but most of it started well above me. The fish either rots or grows from the head. And Bob Corrett said, athletics is important, and football is going to wave the banner for the university. And it's not like they handed us a bag of money to do things. We got caught up a little bit in aspects where we were well behind our competitors in the league in budgets and recruiting and staff numbers of staff members and all kinds of interesting, some financial, but more attitudinal. And to have an administration and a university saying this is going to be important, it permeates everything. And kids, you can feel it. And if the kids are going to represent the university on a regular basis, then the university has to treat them as such, that they are ambassadors daily, good or bad, depending on what they do during the day, for the entire university. And there's no other aspect of the university that can do this besides athletics. So that drive from the top allowed us to move this thing forward. And now you got kids that are buying into the dream of it. And we probably recruited from farther away in the beginning because people didn't have a preconceived notion of what we were not, at the time. And now it's a buy-in on everybody's part. The team's bigger, and you know how I am about this. It's not the players, it's not the coaches, it's everybody. It's the support staff, it's the media guys, it's the teachers, it's the janitors, it's everybody. There's a nice janitor I saw coming in here. He calls me Governor. He's from Jamaica. I love this guy. But he said, thank you for my win on Saturday. Made my whole weekend. Like, everybody's in. And I think that's probably the biggest thing. Football and athletics is important. it creates tremendous school spirit and pride, and the team just keeps getting bigger. And the bigger the team gets, the better we get.
And we saw that last week when all those students showed up to Johnny Unitas Stadium. The Tigers and the Wildcats set to kick off at 3:30 inside Villanova Station. I'll have the call alongside Towson Hall of Fame coach Gordy Combs on CBS Sports Radio starting at 3:15. The game also available to view on Comcast Sportsnet. Now, Christian Summers was named CAA Offensive Player of the Week, 232 yards. Only 2 Tiger football players ever had more than 232 yards catching in the game. Mark Orlando had 1, 2, and 3. And then Mark Brown had number 4, now Christian Summers 5. But I want to go back to a guy that played wide receiver for you. Briefly, when I say Tom Ryan, what do you think?
Words I can't say on the air. One of the grittiest football players I think I've ever met. That I could count on him for anything in reference to something that had a ball in it. He could play baseball right now. He could play basketball right now. And you know who the all-world number 1 corner in the NFL is? Like the highest paid dude plays for the Redskins? Norman. Want to know who outplayed him? Tom Ryan.
Tom Ryan. Well, Tom made one of the biggest catches in school history against Old Dominion back in 2012. That will do it for the Tiger Football Report. Coach, thanks for joining us. Again, the Tigers and the Wildcats taking on each other at 3:30 on Saturday up in Villanova, Philadelphia. Thanks for joining us. And for head coach Rob Ambrose and everybody here at the Towson Sports Network, I'm Spiro Morekas. Have a great weekend, and as always, go Tigers.